Bluegrass music has become more and more popular as new generations of fans become interested in the music and bluegrass artists of today.
You'll see it on television, hear it in movie soundtracks, on the internet, and read about it in magazines.
We want to make a mark on this music and be known for years to come. When they think of the Grascals, we want them to smile and say, wow, those guys, fun and good. We want to get up there and give them the best show we can. The music we want to record, we want to be taken seriously because everybody in our group individually and collectively are great players, singers, writers, just a great unit. It's just, it works perfect.
Now you better do some thinking, then you'll find you got the only daddy that'll walk the line.
We just want to do good quality music and take it to places where it's never been. The country venues, the television, the magazines. That's what's going to spread the bluegrass word.
Different bands have different things that motivates them. We want to play in the ditch. We want the timing to be great, and we want the emotion to be there, and we want to present our show high energy and take it to everybody and say, you know, here's what we are, and we're going to make them like it even if they don't think they want to. And if we don't do that, if we don't leave there feeling like that, we're disappointed in ourselves.
Bluegrass music seems to naturally encourage participation. People can go to many different festivals to hear it played. Or better yet, they go to jam with others to learn new skills or just to have fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
It's cool. I like listening to the music. That's one of my favorite parts. I look forward to Del McCurry every year I go.
This is a kind of music where people, when you go to festivals, like jamming is part of their life, and some people go to festivals and don't even go to see the main stage. They came to congregate with their friends and jam. I really think that the fact that so many people in the audience play music themselves, they're the reason we get to play music for a living. You know, I think that's part of the uniqueness of it too, that many people in the audience are players.
Young musicians honor the tradition and styles of Bill Monroe, Flatt and Scruggs, and the Stanleys. Festivals like Merle Fest in North Carolina allow performers, young and old, to perform these songs and to help keep them alive and strong. Becky Buller is a talented bluegrass musician who started out playing in her family's bluegrass band in Minnesota.
My family played bluegrass music. I wanted to sing in my parents' band, and they said, no, in bluegrass music you have to play an instrument. That's just how it works. So I said, well, you don't have a fiddle, so I will learn how to play the fiddle. And actually started playing on my grandpa's fiddle. My grandpa Buller, great-grandpa Buller played the fiddle. My grandpa Buller played the fiddle as well.
Most people don't know that you can even go to college and major in bluegrass music. Becky went to East Tennessee State University to study bluegrass.
Anyway, so at 16, I decided I was going to Tennessee, and my parents said, whatever, you're such a homebody. You're not going to go that far away from home, but I did it. And getting to go to East Tennessee I just got to immerse myself in the culture that this music comes from. And I just thought that was so cool, you know, get credit, college credit for playing bluegrass music.
Today, Becky is a really great singer, fiddler, clawhammer banjo player, and songwriter performing with Valerie Smith and Liberty Pike. She's been a real inspiration to a lot of kids, and she's always encouraging them to sing and play.
We just love nothing better than to help the younger people coming up learning the music. And I know for myself, I try to pass that on to any chance I get. I try to pass that on because it's just such an encouraging thing to me to see that young people are interested in the music.
There are lots of exciting groups out there, heavily influenced by bluegrass, who are doing some really fun original stuff. All grouped under the roots-based Americana music umbrella, including artists like Cherry Holmes, the Carolina Chocolate Drops, Barefoot, the infamous String Dusters, the Kruger Brothers, the Punch Brothers, and Abigail Washburn.
Let's go down to the holy well, sit down among the heather, hear the water, make a gentle sound, we'll heal our souls together.
Everywhere I go, I look for you. Do you look for me?
ever want to know what it's like on a tour bus? Let's go check out the Grascals bus.
You've got our front lounge up here, which consists of a few big couches and a table if you want to eat. A nice flat screen TV, your whole sound system and all that good stuff in case we want to hear some good Osborne Brothers or Flatt and Scruggs, anything like that. And behind that directly is our bathroom. Once you get past the first door is the section where we all sleep. You've got the television there to turn up in case anybody's being loud. On the very back end of the bus is kind of just like the front. We call it the VIP section. And the back, which is all mirrored, you open that up in the very back, and it's all of our clothes that we hang up so we don't have to get them all wrinkled.
We were traveling 300 days last year. You know, your daily routine is you drive all night, you get there just in time to set everything up again, do a sound check, do the show, sign the autographs, get to meet everybody, and you're back on the bus. I mean, that's pretty much a basic routine. A lot of people think it's the glamorous life. Sometimes you don't get to eat anything all day. You know, you grab whatever you can, a snack here and there, or maybe it's a bologna sandwich at 2 in the morning.
Artists like Sierra Hall are making great music and are inspiring today's young musicians. Sierra performed with Alison Krauss at Union Station when she was very young, and today she's touring and recording with her own band.
I've got a band now that's playing, and we're out gigging a bunch, and I'm now in college, just started my first year of college. I put out my first record on Rounder Records and been trying to tour a lot in support of that.
Ryan Holiday is another bluegrass musician that started out young and has already had a lot of success.
Well, we've done quite a bit. We put a CD out for Skaggs Family Records. I've done 2 appearances at Carnegie Hall. We did a tour in Japan with a bunch of country acts like Trick Pony and Stonewall Jackson.
A whole new generation of bluegrass musicians is cropping up, ready to continue the tradition and blaze new musical trails.
Went to Smithville, Tennessee for the Fiddle Jamboree there, and it was in July, and it's over July 4th weekend. And I entered the competition for the fiddle, old-time fiddle. It's quite a memory, and I ended up taking the title, which was really cool.
You know, it always blows my mind at just how many, you know, young musicians are coming up and just going for it and being awesome at it, you know, so it's really something for me. I kind of feel like an old person these days walking around looking at all these little kids thinking, wow, you know.
Kyle Ramey recorded his first CD at the age of 6.
It has 10 songs on it, and it's called Call Ramey a Boy and His Mandolin. I have shirts out too, and everyone wants one.
Kids on Bluegrass is a program that happens every year at the IBMA's World of Bluegrass. Kids from all over the country get together to jam and to actually perform during IBMA's Fan Fest.
It's just nice to have kids my age and fooling around with them and picking. It's awesome.
Music is a universal language, and bluegrass is no exception. You don't have to speak English to love bluegrass. Europe has fans in many countries, and the European Bluegrass Music Association hosts an annual trade show and band showcase every year in May in the Netherlands. There are bluegrass bands in Canada, Brazil, the UK, Switzerland, the Czech Republic, Bulgaria, China, Australia, and more. Japan also has a loyal bluegrass market, and many bands travel to perform there.
The tour of Japan was definitely a lot of fun for me. And to go over there and see 20,000 Japanese people dressed up like cowboys and everything like that, it was definitely an awesome experience.
Although it began in the southeastern United States, bluegrass is now played and enjoyed in countries all over the world and is truly international. Some international bands play straight-ahead traditional American bluegrass music, and others mix in some of their own folk music and languages. You can find bluegrass fans all around the world.
The traditional roots of bluegrass are as strong today as they've ever been. But the world of bluegrass is big enough for a lot of different styles. Bela Fleck is a Grammy Award winner who plays traditional bluegrass and a lot more. He won 2 Grammys in 2010 for his album, Throw Down Your Heart, Tales of the Acoustic Planet, Volume 3, which he recorded with African musicians he met while touring the continent in search of more information on the origins of the banjo.
I love bluegrass. So to me, bluegrass is going to be the strongest with lots and lots of strong opinions about how it should be. People who love the modern stuff, people who love the old stuff, people arguing about which one's better. That is a sign of a healthy music form.
Kristen Scott Benson is a 2-time IBMA Banjo Player of the Year.
One of the great things about bluegrass is there's always that faction of the audience and always that faction of musicians that preserve the tradition. And I think that is extremely important. But it's also, it provides a foundation for a lot of different avenues. And there's always been, a band here or a band there that kind of push the limits and do different things. And that's, the whole history of bluegrass. It's been that way from, the Osborne brothers were incredibly progressive in the 70s. They were plugging in and playing huge country shows and doing material that was anything but bluegrass. There have always been those bands, but lately it seems like there's an entire scene. Cadillac Sky, the infamous String Dusters, there are all these young startup bands that are bluegrass based, and they respect the foundation of the music, but they are very progressive. And that's just one example of how the music has grown and how there are all these roads that are diverging now from the main path that the founders started. And I embrace that. I think it's a wonderful thing, and I hope to see more of it. It's an exciting time for the music, and with those new avenues come new listeners, and that helps all of us.
Today, there are lots of opportunities for kids to get involved in bluegrass. There are bluegrass bands all around that will put on educational programs in schools.
There are after-school bluegrass clubs, and a lot of bluegrass festivals have kids' academies where you can take workshops with experienced musicians.
Well, that's a look at what's happening in bluegrass music today. Next, we'll take a look at the roots of bluegrass music and see where it all came from.